Do you ever observe what things drain your energy the most? I was observing this on myself. When I'm in a good mood and when I have high energy levels, it takes obviously a lot longer to get my energy drained. I think that's normal. When I'm more tired, mentally, emotionally, physically, in any way, obviously it takes a much shorter amount of time and much less influence from the outside world to get my energies drained. And so I was observing what outside or external factors were the ones that really just didn't help and made me lose my energy really quickly. And I realized two things. One is clutter. Like clutter in my physical space really does not help. Sorry, it's raining. Really does not help with having my energy levels high up. The way I feel when there's clutter in my environment, let it be too many things in too little space, or even just, somebody or me is disorganized and a bit untidy, or just didn't tidy up, didn't put the things away, or just has too many things. I noticed that it's like I have my thoughts in my head and then they want to move in directions, but they can't because they constantly bump into the different things, like objects. Because when I'm in a tidy space or outside, either there are the walls that kind of stop my thoughts, or they can just go as far as they want to because I'm in an open landscape. And I like that. It makes me feel free and it makes me just really re-energized. Sorry, my hair looks really funny like this, but I just want to talk about this stuff. And that's a huge difference, how far my thoughts can travel and how I feel limited by the area where I am in, or the space. So that's one. The other one is noise. I know I did some research on this. There are some people who are much more noise sensitive than others. That's normal. And I know that I'm extremely noise sensitive. Like, for me, things like people's noise, shouting, screaming, construction noise, road noise, airplane noise, all of these just noises, like they drain me so quickly that I can't even tell you. Like, I just want to scream. I just want to switch off. Because oftentimes, even if I put my headphones on, I can't shut it out. There's nothing I can do. And then I don't know how to protect my energy. I don't know how to keep my head clean or clear. And maybe it's normal human stuff, but I think there are people who tolerate noise better than I do. And if you tolerate noise better than I do, then please let me know how you do it, because I've been trying different techniques, like just try to shift my focus, try to not pay attention, try to put on binaural beats in my headphones. Of course, there's an option that I just physically remove myself from the situation, but it's not always possible. Like, let's say I'm in a place where the neighbors are constantly yelling and pushing furniture. Like, I don't know why, but I'm in so many places where the people above, if it's like an apartment building, they push furniture back and forth, like seemingly for hours a day. I don't understand this, but like, I'm not joking. I ran into this multiple times. Once even with a long-term rental, that we basically had to break the contract and leave, and we lost some money on it because we couldn't function. Like, their kid was yelling and screaming. Okay, child is a child, I get that, but why on earth were they pushing furniture all day, every day, late into the night? And then we tried to talk with them. They were like, oh yeah, we just did this, did that. But we were like, why do you reorganize your space every day, all day? I don't know. Anyway, so that was, for example, we had to exit, Devi and I had to exit the situation. We just could not live with that constant noise. And in other times, we run into the construction noise. For example, we spend quite a bit of time in the Balkans, and also in the winter, because the climate is better, and we do like the Balkans. And what they do, especially in these seaside places, is that they prepare for the next season once the rains stop in the spring. Like, yeah, there's construction usually throughout the winter, but because it tends to be quite rainy, oftentimes they do the construction at the end of the winter, what's winter for me. And then the constructions really start. Everybody's pouring concrete, building roads, doing all sorts of stuff, which is perfectly alright, but the noise levels really change. And we ran into this winter. We were in Albania on a really beautiful coastal place, which was very peaceful for a month and a half, and then the rain stopped. And then from then on, it was absolute madness every single day, even on Sundays, from sometimes 6 in the morning. They would just come out with their giant machines in the street, and they would take the street up. First one sidewalk, then the other sidewalk, then the road. And of course, because they were building all around in the city, there were a lot of redirecting of traffic. And so our street, that was very peaceful and quiet at the beginning, got really busy, and there was no place to go. And I noticed on my own mental health and my mental capacity how much it degraded. Just in a few short weeks, I was like, gosh, nothing helps. We went out for many hours a day when it was the worst, and then we were on the seaside or we were doing stuff outside, and it was okay. But after a while, it was so exhausting. I was absolutely mentally drained and exhausted, and it made me think about how noise and clutter and these different things affect me and my mental health, emotional health, energy levels, even, I don't know, vibrations or frequencies, whatever I want to call them. So I would like to know about how you are with these things. This is a very interesting subject for me because we create these environments, and sometimes we can directly affect our own environment, and sometimes we just can't. With this construction stuff, I have no control over who's building which road or taking up which sidewalk and putting down pipes or cables or whatever they were exactly doing. It was hard to figure out what they were exactly doing. I'm sure they knew what they were doing. I didn't, but there can be huge differences, and when I don't have control over the noise and the clutter, that's when I don't know what to do. So if you have any good tips on that, I'd be interested to know. And maybe sometimes there's nothing I can do. Maybe sometimes I just need to wait it out and, just push through the whole thing, because that's just life. And if I want to live in society, sometimes there's noise, and that's that. So it's an interesting question to me, and it's an ongoing observation. And now I'm getting a bit more and more rained on. So I'm going to head back. This is my morning walk, and it's really nice to come out, and I'm very happy with the rain, but I don't want to get too wet. So on that note, I will wish you a very good day or night, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.